We are shining a spotlight on women in South Africa at large flying the flag. And in our book review literature this morning, we've seen that 2 car accidents take place on the same night, on the same stretch of Twisting Valley Road. 1 is fatal and 6 friends' lives will never be the same. Only 2 of them know what really happened that night, and 1 will stop at nothing to get to the truth. Now, when your life is on the line, who can you really trust, and how far would you go to protect the ones you love? Nicky Greenwall, with her debut novel, A Short Life, joins us this morning to unpack a little bit further. She's also a former TV presenter, entertainment journalist, and producer at large. Nicky, good morning, and thank you for joining us at this hour.
It's good to be here from a very stormy Cape Town.
Well, speaking of stormy Cape Town, I know that the novel is set in Cape Town, but perhaps before we get into that, I firstly wanted to congratulate you, wish you happy Women's Month, happy Women's Day for yesterday. You've done many hats as well, and so following your career, I just wondered when you first realized you actually wanted to pen thoughts to paper and be a writer.
Well, I started writing off the back of quite a stressful documentary project. And I kind of was drawn to writing because I wanted to be in a space where I could create something on my own. No disrespect to your brilliant camera people and sound people, but I wanted to do something where I didn't need a camera or sound or an editor or anything like that, just to be by myself and to create something where I didn't have to spend any money, which was quite important to me as well at the time. So I wrote this in 2021, and it was also during the pandemic, so I had more time on my hands. And that's really what drew me to it. I'm a big reader. I love domestic noir. I love thrillers. And I just wanted to see if I could do it myself.
All right, so speaking of which, you have now obviously produced this amazing piece of work. And back to your earlier point about Cape Town, I mean, it's a psychological thriller. It's set in Cape Town. The characters, Adam, Nick, we know that Nick's best friend, Adam, obviously gets into an accident. He was driving drunk. Nick wants to protect his best friend. His wife, Frankie, obviously is now torn between the fact that she also lost a friend. She has to comfort her friend. There's a lot that's happening. It's written from multiple perspectives, and I don't want to give away too much. So this is why I want to actually get you in about, the characters and perhaps any moments in the book that inspired a scene from your own life, cultural influences as well. How did you approach in building that world at large?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of inspiration in my own life, but it's really about, I've experienced grief. I've experienced loss. I've had, long friendships for a long time. So I think, when one gets older, one has to deal with a lot of stuff that you maybe didn't have to deal with when you were younger. A lot of the realities of life, motherhood, and that all features in the book. But I mean, it is entirely fiction. But I do say to people that it's still a personal story, even though it's completely made up. There's a lot of things in there that sort of talk about my own experiences with anxiety. It really tackles a lot of different issues that I've experienced myself. And hopefully, it's relatable because of that, because I hope there's people out there who feel the same about certain things. But the main thing for me is for it to be entertaining. So it's one thing for a story to be kind of cathartic for you when you're writing it, but as long as it entertains people, that's the most important thing. So hopefully it is relatable, yes.
Well, it is relatable and it is entertaining because your use of descriptive words, really, if you're not familiar with Cape Town or at the Atlantic seaboard, I mean, it really takes you into that world. And speaking about how relatable it is, the title itself, the significance of that for you, I wonder if you could explore that further. I'm only asking this because obviously a major theme and what sets the tone is also ultimately also encapsulated in the epigraph by Seneca. The part of life we really live is quite small. And for all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. I know that I'm paraphrasing the quote by Seneca, but perhaps you could elaborate further in relation to the title at large.
Well, it's really just about the fact that we can't control the length of our lives, can we? Or the length of the life of the people that we love. So it is about lack of control. And it was born out of me feeling that I had a lack of control over those things. And all I can say is that in writing the book, I did make peace with how I felt. And the conclusion that I came to is that when you're feeling that sense that you want to control something in your life, it's usually a good idea just to stop and appreciate the thing that you're trying to control. And I think I found that quite a useful thing. And I think if I hadn't written this book, I wouldn't have come to that conclusion. The other thing is that this book, I hope, is a sort of memento mori for people who read it. And for people who don't know what that is, it's a reminder that that we're all going to die, but it's not a negative, morbid thing. It's meant so that you live your life more fully, by reminding yourself that it is short, that life is short. So I hope that the book is entertaining for people, and I also hope that it serves that purpose, because I like reading books where you get more than just the story. Yeah, you're left with something at the end. So I'm really hoping that that's what my book gives readers.
Absolutely, because it just reminds you to seize the day and really not take anyone or anything for granted. And your book launch, which happened last week, I mean, you also got to interact with some of your, people who've read the book, avid readers as well. What's been that feedback like? And if you want people to walk away with anything, what does that encapsulate? I know that as we enter Heritage Month, there's that open book festival that's also happening. So there's plenty more ways that you can interact and perhaps also keep that conversation going at large.
Yes, I'll be doing an open book from the 5th to the 8th of September in Cape Town. Next weekend, I'm doing a meet and greet at the V&A Waterfront exclusive books. It's been great to meet people. And, the funny thing about selling a book is that, that is what it comes down to at the end of the day, is people buying the book. So I've had amazing feedback, and I'm really grateful to all the people that have read and reviewed the book and given me such great feedback. And I'm so grateful to all the booksellers who have taken it on board as well. But yes, when it comes down to it, it's still a product at the end of the day. And meeting people and engaging with them on a one-on-one sort of hand selling my book to people has been a really amazing experience, because it's very grounding and reminds you that really books are just about connecting with people in a very intimate way, even if you don't get to meet the person who's reading your book. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all the events coming up, and I'm looking forward to meeting readers.
Well, Nicky, thank you for joining us at this hour, for taking us into your world, into the world of Charlie, Sebastian, Frankie, Nicky, Adam at large. I'm going to leave the conversation there, and obviously just urge everyone to get the book. Renowned entertainment journalist, producer Nicky Greenwall joining us this morning with her debut novel. It's called A Short Life, really just unpacking that creative process for her.